Welcome back to the channel, and we're back at Starlight to continue our trailer park build. Let's get building. So welcome back to Starlight, and we'll just continue on with the next phase of the trailer park. Thanks for all your comments and the response to the first video. It was quite amazing how many views and comments and likes I got on that video. So we'll continue on, and hopefully you'll enjoy the second phase. So we're just going to do some quick land clearing here. Like I've said in the past to other videos, I don't like to take a lot of the scrappiness and trees and stuff out, but here it's just necessary. So my idea for this is to build a combination of continue to have the caravans trailers. Now we're not going to go down that path again. A combination of the caravans plus a number of other buildings, but try and keep it so it's a consistent look and it looks like a little settlement and it all works in with each other. So let's see how we do. I think it's great to have these rocks here too. Just adds to it. The only concern I have, and I'll address it later in the video, is when you come into Starlight, if you ever come into Starlight from that left hand side onto the rocks, when I build some settlements there, it's prone to attack, but I'll address that as we go along. Now I do learn a few things about how to place these caravans and what to place them on. Now initially I start with these foundation pieces, but you'll see later I actually switch to something that makes a lot more sense for me, but at least for now this helps with the placement. One of the things that you're going to find if you use these wooden foundation places is there's a little bit of clipping through the floor, that kind of shimmering look, so hence why I go to another solution, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And these will all be some kind of a dwelling, these caravans. I've decorated at this point 2 of them. I've still got a bit to go with a few of the other buildings before I can do a final tour. More than likely this is going to be at least two more episodes, this one and another one. So and I wanted to add the scaffolding pieces in as well. I wanted to add a whole lot of different elements into this second part of the settlement, just to try and mix it up a little bit, and hence why I want other buildings in here as well, but all trying to work it in so it looks as though it belongs here. And obviously I'm conscious of the fact that we have built quite a lot of other stuff here in Starlight, and so it all has to work with that too. But how it turns out, I'm really happy with how it turns out. So a lot of this video is really just trying to figure out, I have an idea. This is often what happens when you build. You have an idea in your head, and then you've got to try and figure out how it's all going to work and flow in the right way. So a lot of this video you'll see as we go through has got to do with me trying to figure out exactly how to get this configured. I know the only thing I really know for certain is I want 3 caravans to be on this hill here, and then a collection of other buildings. That's really my starting point, and it does turn into, I'm really pleased with what it turns into. But I say that say that on all my videos anyway, so however, I must say it is an enjoyable pastime to build in Fallout 4, and I wouldn't be posting these videos if I didn't love what I was doing. So I do enjoy it, and it does make a difference when you're pleased with what you make. It's not always the case. Sometimes you build settlements and you're just not sure about them, sorry. And yeah, but most of the stuff I've been building lately, it has been really pleasing, because I've really enjoyed building them, number one, and really enjoyed how they turn out as well. So we're just putting the railings in here, just playing around, and as I'm building, ideas will come. So you'll see that bit that I've just built changes significantly in a little bit. And I guess like a little space like this, what I try to do when I'm building in spaces like this is try to utilize as much space, but try not to cram too much in. There is a balance there, but I've got an overall look that I want, and I want it to have a reasonable amount of depth to it. So buildings on different heights, but also try and work in with the first part of the build and make it look as though it should be there. So you know, you're always conscious of that when you're building, and to try and make it look like you envisaged, and you know, like a very busy trailer park stroke settlement area. I think, of course, the other thing to say at this point is it is difficult to continue to come up with different ideas or different looks for each settlement. So yeah, I try to, as much as possible, not rehash what I've done in the past, but at the same time there is some comfort in knowing what works and what doesn't. So the balancing, getting that balance right, can be difficult sometimes. So yeah, okay. So and then there's the fact that the snappage might not be cooperating with you fully. So we're just going to put this last trailer down here. There we go. It's in there. Cool. And we've got the bones, at least the key foundation pieces to the settlement done. So you'll see here something that, you know, this will happen when you're building. So I've put those scaffolding pieces in, and now I've suddenly had an idea about trying to pretty much recess this caravan in underneath there, so that it looks as though it's supporting the structure above it. And so it takes me a while just to play with this, because it keeps wanting to. So what's happening is it's flicking up because it's detecting things above. But what you don't see, of course, once you put this caravan in place, you don't see those scaffolding anyway. So it all looks as though it's being supported, but you just can't see it. So this happens in the building process. Come up with one idea, and then things so now what I'm thinking here is, okay, there is some scope for using the top of this caravan and building some more things above it. So you see how you start off with one idea, and then things can just take a life of their own sometimes. And you will be able to snap the wood pieces on the top of the caravan very, very easily. So my creative brain is on overload just about now, because I'm actually just trying to figure out what I can put up here. And what I end up coming up with is that I come up with a kind of a livable area, but also it then flows onto something else completely. So, and you can see just on the right there, you might just have got a glimpse of the floor is shimmering, and I have to address that a little bit later on. So I'm getting quite excited at this point, because it's suddenly I've come up with something I just didn't plan on. And again, you've got to try and figure out when you're building how things are going to flow, so that you see the shimmering floors. So that's got to be fixed. And I try and do that trick, but that's not working, and I suddenly realise it's happening in all those caravans. So the fix in the end is pretty simple. I'm not sure if I do it now. I think I will. See, I've realised that it's not going to work, and so there's a couple of solutions that I try to fix that. I think here I'm just putting this ladder in here just to be able to get up in there, and for some reason it doesn't want to snap to that. I don't know why. We do get it to snap in the end, but I don't know why it won't snap at this point. So after a bit of a struggle, we finally get that ladder in. I did have some other thoughts about what I could do there, but anyway, we got it in. I didn't want to, I cut it out because I think you better value in continuing the build rather than see me struggle for 5 minutes trying to snap a ladder on something. So let's just continue the look. We'll put a bit more scaffolding up here, and it's just a case. I like this combination of the wood and the scaffolding and the caravans. It's pretty good. I did contemplate taking this wall out because it's quite narrow there, but I actually think it works, and I'm pretty happy with it. So you can see there's a lot. I'm a bit space challenged in this corner here, but I think I actually like the kind of narrowing effect that it gives. So I'm quite happy just to leave that there, and so add some of these floors on again. Really figuring things out in the fly. So this configuration may not stay the way it is, but I do like just this idea of having this settlement that sits outside that initial wall. And also I've got to think about how to get it up to this particular caravan, and so hence why I've put a little platform in there like that. It's probably going to be your biggest challenge, is to try to figure out just exactly how all this flow is going to work. But you can see now I can't get past, so that single platform will probably end up going because the ladder just won't snap to it. So these are the things that are going to happen when you're building, and I also think that's not going to work either. So there is a solution to right in front of me, and I'll figure it out eventually. So you see, I'm just getting stuck coming around that corner, and that's you know, I could take that wall. Like I said, I could take that wall on the right out, but I don't want to do that. So the easiest way to do it, I think, is to reconfigure these scaffolding pieces like this, and then just slide the ladder in. And there you go, that fixed it. There you go, nice. And so we're up. And I think, you know, these scaffolding rails I really like, and I think it does fit with the overall look, because it's, again with Starlight, if you followed the builds that I've been doing here, it's very industrial. There is very much an automotive kind of theme to it, but this combination of wood and steel and stuff I really do like. So let's just run up the hill here, and underneath and everywhere, just to buy myself some time so I can figure out what I want to do next. It's pretty much what I'm doing. So we'll just quickly put a ramp in here, I think. Yep, these are great from Vanilla Extensions, love them. Thanks very much. And so that all flows. So I'm just working at, I do this a lot when I'm building. I'll run up and down and just try and get in my head what the flow is going to look like. And it often helps just to get your head working for what to build next. And there's no reason why we can't extend that out and have like a little deck area or something like that. A little area for the settlers to have a little bit of a barbecue or a chill out zone, whatever you would like. And so that's really where my head is now, thinking, yeah, we can make this a kind of little livable area, little patio or whatever you would like to call it. And we'll just surround it with the mandatory railing system. And so back and forward, looking for the, you know, obviously just changing up the rails a little bit. For those of you who are on Reddit, you would have seen, sorry, I apologise, I forgot who exactly posted it, but there was a photo that was posted a few weeks back with a kind of trailer park which had all these fancy levels to it and gardens and all kinds of stuff. So that was really what I had in my mind here when I'm doing this. We could have just left the caravans and stuff with nothing on top of them, but I think this really does start to build what I discussed before, that depth, and you can see that just overhangs enough, but I think it all kind of works. I like that overall look, and I don't think that it really, I'm looking at supports, but I don't think it really needs supports, to be honest, and I think in the end I don't go with supports. I just don't see the need for it, but I think this does spark another idea on how to solve something else. So that's looking all good. The one thing I would like, and if there are some of the developers either from the master plan, if Aetheron's listening, or a developer from Workshop Rearranged, and also know that those caravans are available in that mod. One of the things that I wasn't really happy with this settlement, and it is a minor issue, but one of the things I wasn't happy with was the fact that these caravans are all the same colour. I would have liked some different colours of caravans in here, just to add a little bit more of a variation in the look, because one of the things, especially when you're using a lot of wood and metal and stuff, it all starts to blend in together, and it really, you don't get that contrast. So I don't know if it's possible, how hard it is. It probably is quite difficult to do, but you know, if it would be possible to put some different colour caravans, trailers, RVs, whatever you want to call them, in, I would love that. I would be very grateful. So here I've got another idea. So what I've done is I've actually looked over to my right, and I've realised that there's like that little area over there for defence, and so it makes sense that I could go up even more here and put a little defensive area up there, just to make sure that we've got that vulnerability above us covered. Now I don't think I don't know about other people, but I haven't been attacked much at Starlight, but when I do get attacked, it usually comes on the opposite side, so I'm probably worrying unnecessarily. But I think when you're building a settlement, you tend to have these things in your mind, at least build these kind of things into your settlements. At least I do. Maybe other people don't worry about it too much. So this is a good starting point. As you see, I'm doing my traditional running up and down, but we actually make something completely different up here as well, and it does actually start to build some other areas into the settlement. So this is the first attempt. Not your first idea, remember, is not always your best idea, at least they tell me that. Now here we go, we're starting the falling off process, and it was only a matter of time, folks, before that happened. But anyway, so put a little guard post, and then just changing it up a little bit. You know, we've already done the sandbag look, and I may just put some sandbags into this. One of the things that you do have to be a little bit conscious of when you're doing this is the pathing for your settlers. So you have put something that's assignable up here now, And so, you know, if you saw, I've put that ramp in, but I struggle to get up here. So that does kind of occur to me in a minute, and so I have to then find another solution, because I realise that if I want to assign somebody to that guard post, they ain't going to be able to come up there. And sometimes, but I don't know if it's good management or by mistake, see how that flicked onto the fence and pointed the other way. That then starts to give me an idea about some more potential builds that I can put in here. These ramps are great, by the way, and I love this idea of being able to use them on the caravans here. May have to straighten that just a fraction. But now what I've got to do is I've got to try and figure out a little platform on there, so that we can actually get the pathing right. So some of our settlers, and we haven't got any settlers in here yet, by the way. And I've found that just lately that I need to not put settlers in some of these settlements until I'm really finished, because that happened at Hangman's. I put settlers in before I was finished, and yeah, it caused a whole lot of frame rate issues, to the point where I had to actually get rid of those settlers to be able to finish some of the builds there. So I was getting some issues with crashing and one thing and another. So if you're building these huge settlements, it might just be a good idea to get it finished first. And I know Draco Invictus, who's a friend of the channel, another good Fallout builder. If you haven't checked Draco out, check his channel out. But he's had similar issues in one of his builds here at Starlight. He's made a massive settlement here, and yeah, just run into some really big frame rate issues. So I'm not totally happy with this platform yet, and so that's not quite straight yet. And so here comes the OCD kicking in again. But get it, I think it's worth doing, worth getting it right. And with these planks, it's got a lot to do with the angle you're looking at them as well. I've found that over building and building and building, and spending hours trying to figure out how best to do this. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up pretty much there now, and we'll come back in the next part of this build and continue on with this. We're problem solving, so you'll see how this all kind of has a fall off the edge. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. Pop a like or a subscribe, and we'll catch you later.